Hello and welcome back to Rollercoaster Tycoon, the final park in the final year, in the final half of that year. And yeah, here we are. Now, last time our new pricing strategy slightly backfired on us because we did not really have enough money to build the coaster that I wanted to build, which is a shame. I mean, I'd much rather have enough money, but yeah, if you lower the prices, the cash flow is going to drop a little bit. So yeah, I mean, this coaster over here is far from what I wanted and in the first place. And do we have the ratings? No, I don't think we have the ratings, but the red 88, if this has a higher than 6 ratings, I mean, that's going to be quite amazing. 6.5 would be absolutely stunning, but yeah. Now, once we do have more money, I might even add a few more sections to it, you know, like well, like I had planned, cause I do have plans for that. But for now, yeah, it's gonna be like this, which is a shame. Like I said, you know, I do have plans for it, but maybe later we will see. For now, though, one thing that we do need to do, and before I forget, is we need to get ourselves a fixed mechanic for this ride, most definitely. We also, you know what, because we're adding new sections of to the park, like over here, this whole section, we'll add one more loose mechanic. We need to add a handy dude who is going to keep everything clean. And like last time, you know, at the start of the last video, I kind of forgot to do all this, so yeah, derp. Right, got that covered. And you know what, whilst we're on a hiring spree, we might as well add one of the, you know, staff and the guard members as well. There, right, okay, we're solving the unemployment crisis. Now then, before we continue on, let's do our quick round of checks in terms of vandalism, in terms of pricing. You know what, we'll take a different view, because last time in a different view we spotted things that we did not saw before. Maybe that will be the case this time too. Let's see here. It's looking good, actually. This is looking remarkably good, if you ask me. Nothing that I can find. Nothing broken, dented, brushed or whatever. No, nothing of it all. Right, well, who would have thought that halfway in year 4 we do not have a single thing broken. Let's check out how the pricing is doing though. Do we need to adjust things? This is expected. The visual expositionary. Yeah, expositionary is actually whatever. In any case, look at that. Popularity is it broken down or something? I mean, it actually does have popularity. Why is that? Is it broken down? No, it isn't. I don't know why this is not making money, but it should. There's folks on the queue. How many showing a film? How many folks are on it? There's actually that just I don't get this. They should be making a profit as if nothing was ever happening, you know, but I don't know, I guess. Around Corona, same thing really. This should also be making a profit. Maybe it has to do with the rain that dropped. Well, in that case, we can't really do a pricing check, which we will do at a later stage. That's one downside, really. I mean, the moment there's rain, it always needs some time for the numbers to adjust, which is why the, you know, just visually eyeballing method works, well, more accurate, quicker. But yeah, well, because it's clearly it's not updating often enough, we'll just do one of the old-fashioned checks, alright? Look, the bacon, for example. 0 people on ride. It's adjusted, but only slightly. So we will lower the price a little. if it is popular, I mean, alright, we'll leave that. We won't adjust anything. These don't really need adjusting. For the rest, this all looks rather good. Yeah, I don't think everything else needs any adjusting at all, if you ask me. Good, good, good. Well, on to... excuse me there. On to what we have in store for this park. Now, as I said last time, we kind of did not have enough money to finish this. So what we should do now is build things that do not cost us much, yet generate money. And I'm thinking that this island over here could use some attention. We have a nice bridge leading onto it, yet there's nothing here. I think we should change that. So, yeah, now what are we going to build on this island then? That is of course the question. I'm thinking that perhaps we should build this tower over here. Because I've been rummaging through what we have and what we did not have. And we don't have the bumper cars, we don't have the Crooker Mansion and this tower. Which I was under the impression that we had. And I think towers are nice. So besides, we're at the back end of the park here. So that tower should have a nice overview of the whole area. So yeah, that's also pretty good. Now then, well, the other thing is maybe the tower should be in the center though, because then, you know, whichever way you look, you see rides everywhere. For that, it would need to be like right next to the other one, so I don't like it, so we're gonna build that there. The question is, do we build it on this side? Which, well, why not? We could also build it on this side. Actually, I think on this side is much better because there's more islands below the tower. Yeah, alright, we'll do that. So, let's get that building. We would need to remove a few trees for that. You as well, and then you two. There. Yeah, that does it. I know it's a bit further out, but... ah, well, you know, that is all purely for the exit here. Which we're going to be building right there. And then the entrance... you know what, we'll also have to remove that tree. There. This isn't really the most ideal placement of it, I must admit, you know, but... it's a nice, quick and easy to build ride, so I don't see why not. There, look at that. Right, okay, that's good. Now, we will have you, and I guess all that we need to do now really is just set this one up. So we might as well do that quickly. We're gonna start out with the $3 opening price, not even gonna up that to 5 anymore, you know. That's so from the past, from like all the other previous parks. We are beyond that right now. I know this probably won't add much to the ratings or lure in much guests even for that matter. By the way, has it? Nah, we do seem to be getting some guests, but the tower probably isn't the one thing they're coming for. However, it's more as a navigational thing as well, you know, that if guests are lost, which is possible because they're like in the far back end of the park over here, they can go to the tower and get their bearings. Speaking about bearings, how about we call this the big bearing? The big bearing. There. And for that, we're gonna color this one brown, you know, as it is a bear. So we'll also add blackness over there. And then brownness on the top with a bit of this. Oh yes! I didn't save its name. Game! Big... yeah, the big bearing. There, now save it this time. Good, good, good. So, that's the tower sorted. Now, we need money for our next coaster because, yeah, you know, one thing is apparent. This coaster, which maybe we do have the ratings of right now. We probably have. Let's find out. Ooh, it's above 6, which is already quite amazing. But yeah, if there's one thing we learned from this coaster, is that we need more money. So what we need to do basically is just save up some money by building inexpensive things. Problem is, we don't have that many of them, but we do have a few, and they're water rides. And since we are building on an island right now, we might as well, huh? Yeah, see where I'm going with this? Now, actually, coming to think of a thing here, this could have been moved over to the side by one. This whole tower, the big bearing. Could have. Should we? Maybe, actually. On the other hand, what's the point, really, right? Well, it's a bit of an issue. If we move this over to the side one further, it's more on the island, because what I don't like is just how this is just sticking out there, you know, I don't like that. On the other hand, what's the point really if it's not in the way, right? It's open right now, so yeah, I guess we'll leave it. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a water ride, and just one, I know. But it's going to be this, the water slide, and we're gonna be building it right on the side over here of this island. Actually, if we wanna set things up for, you know, the future building projects that we're going to be doing on this lake with some ease, then what we should do is we should actually build it too high, in which case moving the tower to the side one was pointless anyway. Yeah, we will do that. So it's going to be on this side here, which probably means that... Well, see, let me just quickly plan this out a little bit. We're gonna have to have it be this direction. That much is pretty much for certain. And if it is into that direction, then, well, actually, or do we now? What we could do is we could have it in this direction. But there's no point really. We need to have it in this direction, and that's gonna be horrible for the queue, because that would need to... what we could do, I guess, is have the queue travel over here and then go below the station. And then resurface somewhere over here. I guess that could work. Alright. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna have it run into this direction, quite obviously, because there's a massive hill here just awaiting our lifts. Go up to insane heights, and then probably travel down, do a few things, and hopefully, if the money permits it, you know, if it isn't too expensive, what we'll do then is we will have another lift section in it. And I know that's against principle, but this is the last park. We need to break with principle, you know, and be out of the box, extraordinary, do different things, you know. So yeah, that's the plan. We'll have to see though. First, let's get the station in there. Let's build this. Build custom design. I mean, oh man, those seal sound, man, they're so cartoony. We'll build them. There's one further backwards over there. This is actually as far back as, or as far forward as I think would be good for it. Maybe one further. Yeah, alright. Good. Now we'll build the entrance over here, really properly on the island. That over there. And then we'll just go up and yes! Nice, nice, nice. We can now even go above the trees, which is really what I was aiming for, you know. That's why I didn't want, because I could have easily moved the whole station forward a little bit, but I was worried about the trees, and rightfully so, but right now we're going above them. Nice! Alright. Now we'll go in a tight curve here. And then we'll do another one, and then an S-bend, and then, oh my good lord, why game, why do you give me this crazy coaster that's even more expensive than the one I already have? Why? Ah well, in any case, we are building this, we need to go down. Look, this is proper down, isn't it? I think we're hitting a tree right now. Yep, we are. Now we also will be going up. Just not as much though. Look, and right here we need to close it. It's probably best to close it all the way till the end of this curve. Well, I think we'll go down here by 2. I don't know what the speed on it will be though. I can only imagine that because it's single dinghy boats, it will lose quite a bit of speed. Yes, this is exactly what I wanted. Then we will... Alright, we'll have another drop in there. Let's see. And then... Oh, you are in the way now. Let's open up the tube there, because there's no reason to keep it closed any further. And then... what we will do is we'll have one of these curves in there. We'll have to remove a few more trees, unfortunately. Then what we're going to do is... no, that's not going to work. So we'll keep it straight. Straight again, like so. And now we will lift it... no, false. Right, that means that I just need to straighten it out some further. That's the whole conclusion of this. And then we will go... no? Do I need to S-bend this around then? Yeah, to the other side. Probably, actually. That's alright, we can do that. Look. Ah, and the tree is gonna be in the way. But I think that this is actually a safe design here when it comes to lifting and all that. Because the thing is that I have with the lift with this ride is that usually what happens is that when it breaks down, the boats get stuck. I do believe though that right now we're launching them onto the lift that fast that even if it breaks down and it takes a while to get fixed, all the boats will just have piled up on the lift. Should it be fixed again, then the boats will just resume and, you know, from this lift onwards. Whereas if you have a lift where it's like, and here it would naturally stop, but the lift is picking it up, then 2 or 3 pile up and the rest will just pile up here, never to move ever again. See, and that's the issue that I have with it right now though. I hope that my design will have, right, you know, prevented that from happening. And we'll go up a little bit more, not much though. Like this so. Oh, that tree, yeah, it's a shame, but it needs to be gone for the greater good. Then we'll have an S-bend. You need to be gone. Same for you and for you. And right now we will go down to, if at all possible, we'll go down to height 8. Which means doing some terraforming. You know what? We could even have this be a proper... alright, that's interesting. I don't really want it to be at height 7 though. So I guess the only way to get that fixed would be to... well, I guess right now what we would really need is an S-bend, just so that we prevent it from running into the path. Well, that's kind of cool though, I quite like this. And then we could just have it go up, like that. And right now I feel the only real thing that we've got to do is see that we make it back to the station. I might even... want to, yeah, no, we'll ooh, this is tough choices, man. Right, I think right now though we're good when it comes to not blocking off any stuff that we might, or any areas that we might need in the future. Now if I do that, yeah, that's not going to work out so well. Right, fine, we will add in one straight piece. Okay, maybe not. We'll remove the tree instead. That's always my preferred option. There, alright, well, let's test it. I think that this is quite the insane ride, really. With 2 lifts, lots of drops, hopefully it is safe. It is at least, you know, guaranteed to cause severe head injuries. Oh, the evilness here. Nice, nice, nice. It is also pretty much guaranteed to have amazing ratings. Now we need a solid path entrance queue for this. So we'll get that. We'll have this go over here. And we'll have it go underground like this. So I mean, it's not like we're gonna be building that much else in the underground, so it's not like we're using up a valuable space that we could have used for other things. There, now we'll go up by 1, which is easily allowed by doing this. There, alright, now I know, oh crap, and well, so far they're not crashing. And they're arriving at the station at quite a reasonable speed, and it seems that all the way, look, see, this is there. Right over here is where they pick up. So I think that this water slide over here, of which we do not even have the first preliminary test results, this must be an absolutely freaking amazing ride. I mean, just look at it. I think that this is one of the coolest designs we have built. It's basically, you get like twice the same thing. A lift, a drop with an S-bend, and then a big drop. But yeah, it's a bit of a copy in of itself, really. I must admit that I've just done the same thing. Now that I just now noticed, but I don't really mind that much. And you know what? We could even have it look a bit different if we... Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I got a plan here. You know what? We're gonna make this look a little bit different. In that we're gonna make the guests think, who are over here, who cannot see the station over here because it's behind a hill, that there's 2 different water slides. And then when they finally walk over here, they're gonna be surprised and amazed to see that it's just 1, and they get that for a dirt cheap price of $5. I do think the $5 price is worth it, but wow, what a ride. Alright, let's name it first. We're gonna call this the Deceiver, because we're going to deceive the guest with it. Now, the main color scheme, that's alright, because yeah, I'm giving it away already right now. That is how we're going to deceive them, by color scheme. We're gonna have one that is black, and then dark blue on the inside, which looks quite toxic, I must admit, and then grey supports. We're gonna have icy dinghies, jengies, or whatever, with a purple coating. Yes. Now this looks quite toxic, huh? Then we're gonna have the second color scheme, alternative color scheme. We'll just paint a few sections so that we can see it. We're gonna have that be bright and white. Actually the other way around, really. I need this to be icy white. And then these are gonna be black supports. Right. I don't know, we know what we're gonna do instead. We're gonna change this to yellow supports. Just because. Look, and then all the way till over there. Actually, till right over there. So right out of that tube, all of a sudden, everything becomes completely different. Wow, I think though that this is freaking amazing. If only we would have gone underground with this, that would have been even more freaking amazing. But there, alright, look at that. Maybe even have the station be that color, and then yeah, I think that's good. Right, so if you didn't know any better, the majority of the park will think that we have 2 water slides, but the truth is very different. Nice! Alright. Well, so we have a water slide, so we have a tower. We only got 3 grand of money. That's not good. What we need really is... we need at least 10 grand to get started with the ride and that I have planned. So you know what, we're gonna open up this new section over here and we're gonna fill in the just regular rides over here, you know, the thrill and gentle slam down rides. Now the coasters that we're gonna build are going to be over here, and I'm thinking of building them quite low with the majority of the station, the underground, on the same level as this path. So this area over here we have all available to do whatever we want with it. And I'm thinking that we should build the Garvitron over here, the bumper cars over here. And then maybe also a Kruger mansion up here, which we're just gonna have the queue and the exit lead down to. That's the plan. Let's put that into action and see how that pans out, alright? First we need to hook everything up. So if I... well, I mean, it's not like we need to cut off any more sections. It's just that this is going to be it. Once we have opened this up, everything is hooked up, you know. Everything is available. Nothing is off limit. Oh yeah, of course, of course. Derp, I almost forgot. Right. There. Now then, now that everything is opened up, we might want to get some benches and all that stuff in here. We might also want to consider some facilities, you know, like toilets and all that. Look at this, guests are pouring in right now over here. And there's nothing for them to see. I know, that's not really good. I mean, all they do right now is just walk around, get tired, you know, but... oh well, that will soon be all addressed. We're also gonna get some jumping fountains, because they are nice, and the guests love them, and I love them too, so... there we go. Wow, look at this. The whole coaster, or the whole train is actually filled up. Seems like the guests actually like a mediocre coaster. Who would have known? Who would have guessed? Not me at least. Wow, look at that. Alright, so now that we have this, what should we do first? Should we get them rides first, or should we get the facilities first? Well, what we need in any case is staff. So let's get a handy dude, just to keep everything clean. Right, let's disable this again, just so that I can see where I assign him to. We're gonna have one handy dude who does the entire lake. That's a lot, I know. But he's gonna get help from another handy dude who's gonna do this area and this part of the lake. There. Wow, man, we have so much stuff. I can only imagine that the cost of our staff is like where we lose most of the money these days. Crazy number of folks that we employ. There. Right, so this should keep this area clean. I mean, I know those handy dudes got a lot of work on their hands, but that's what I'm paying them for anyway. Now, the rides, because that's what we're gonna be building first. Let's get the Garvitron out there. We're gonna be building that over here. I'm thinking of leaving this tree there and then removing this one, just building it out there, and then have the... actually, see, the thing is, I don't like hovering exits. I also don't like the fact that if we were to do it like that, well, we could have the queue like that, you know, we could have a queue that just goes straight down, that would hook up. That's not an issue, because as you can see, there's one flat space. The exit though, we'll probably build that on the side, have it then go down. So there's at least a few straight pieces on which we can build benches for our guests to sit down to. Yeah, that's the plan. Alright, let's get that sorted then. Now, of course, we'll have it be facing that way. Oh, let's enable everything. We'll do it like this, and then like this. So yes, so if I'm liking this, Right, and let's just get that queue in there straight away. Exit path, same story. Let's just get it in there right now. It's a bit wow, that's really short actually. But fine, we'll go with it, you know. Well, it's not ideal. Maybe I should have placed it back one. In hindsight, I totally should have, I feel, but fine. Then there's a bloody tree in the way. Well, I don't really need to be going in that twirl, now do I? There, alright, that's hooked up. Right, what we then need to do is get ourselves a no entry sign there. Right, and let's quickly go about setting up the Garvitron. The last of the thrill rides, really. Yeah, there's not much more thrill rides for us to build after this one, so we better set it up carefully. Oh, and look at this slide, man. People are loving it. There is already folks going on it, and yeah, I mean, I can only... Even you know, I think that this is like one of the most unsafe rides there is, because really, you need a helmet, you know, a mountain bike helmet for this ride to be safe. But even I would go on this in real life if it were available. That says enough. Now, back to the Garvitron, of course. We're gonna charge $3 for this, just because it's a Garvitron. Do we know the... No, don't even know the running cost. Besides, we don't also even know the running cost of this one. It's quite expensive, so it's a good thing we leave that $5 out there. Besides, we don't even know the ratings. Let's check that out. Oh wow, 5.77. That's pretty good, you know. Water slide, if you get that above 6, then it's absolutely amazing. And I could have gotten that, you know, quite easy. Build another slide right next to it. But no, we're not going that route. But yeah, I'm just saying, you know, if you get the water slide above 6, then really you've made a masterpiece. This is quite close up there by itself. So there you go. We need to get the Garvitron sorted. Why don't we get started with opening it up, then thinking of a name for it. Name of the Garvitron. We're gonna call this the last Mohican. I don't even know. You know, the last of that Indian race. I don't know. It's probably not written like this, but and besides, since it's, you know, a name, I should have a capital M there. The Mohic, whatever. You know, the Hiawatha tribe. Right there, because it's the last thrill ride, of course. You know, I think the reference is pretty obvious. We now need to get that white and maybe orange with... why don't we exchange the white for a yellow with a green feet and maybe a bit darker. Alright, okay. And then perhaps white with more white. White with black. It kind of like just, you know, blends in with this color set in the rest of our rides with great ease. Over here there's a little bit more of a different color scheme to it. Over here it's, I don't know, it's the same colors but with a different feel to it. In any case, I quite like it because it just blends in so easily. So there we go. Now we're not gonna have... oh, I think I opened it up already, didn't I? Yeah, we'll close it. We're not gonna go with beginner's mode, we're gonna go with berserk mode, because berserk mode, right? Then what we do need to do is this. That is most direly needed over here. We also need to get staff out here. A handy dude in particular. Yeah, this is gonna be a rough one to keep clean, really. Most definitely. There. Right, so see this whole lake area, I know the handy dude's got a large area, but the moment we place more rides, we give them aid, so that helps them out. Now, that's this ride taken care of. We were gonna place a what was it called? The bumper cars over here. We're gonna do so. So let's see here. We'll quickly need to remove the trees there. Now the bumper cars, I think it was a 4x4. Yeah, it is. Right. That means that we need to lower an area as big as this. No, 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 no. I don't want to construct it over there. See, I can't even construct it over there, but we need to lower this once, twice. There, and I do believe that right now we should be allowed to construct it. There! Look at, oh, and look at how cool this is. All the guests walking on this spot, you know, on this path over here, they will just be looking at a roof here. That is, if there wasn't a bush over there, you know, a fence made of bush stuff. Huh. A Hague, really. Yeah, alright, that's a small oversight of mine. In any case, just pretending, you know. I mean, how cool is it that they walk over here and then they just see the roof right on? I think that's pretty cool. Now, what we need is a place for our entrance. I can only imagine that this is going to be quite troublesome to get. Oh no, alright, good, good, good. Exit should be less of a problem, really. Yeah, besides, what we could do with the exit is if we just terraform this like so. And then we, you know what, we're gonna change this to that color, but oh, look at that. It's actual see-through. So look, see that's easy. This one though, gonna be more troublesome. Because let's just think about how we're gonna have that. Where are we gonna have it hook up? I think that the most easy way would be to go up one, if that's even allowed by the coast, mind you. But go up one, go above the path, and then sink down over here. Actually, we could just go down over here, really. You know, go. I'd much rather have one crossing over the path rather than a whole path just running, you know, that like, well, parallel above it. I think that's just lame. So we'll try and see if we can get that sorted. For that, we would need this. Alright, can we go up? We are allowed to go up. That's alright, that's good. That's good. And then if we now go like so. I know this is not really the most, you know, kind of meh, kind of iffy. The other thing what we could do is try and see if we can get this underground. Then if we're in the underground, you know, we would go down by one. Flat, down another. We should, in theory, be able to go below this path over there. Because I don't think I can build the entrance over there. That's a shame, really. Ooh. Right, we'll try that. We'll try that. We will disconnect all of this. We will go like so, which means that we do need to lower this even further. And then we'll go down. Nice, nice, nice. Right, now that we're here though, I have no real clue about where I wanted to go next though. I guess the easiest would be to just hook it up somewhere over here, really. I might as well do that actually. Let's see. This stretch here, right, this path, or this slope terrain thing, that is gonna go down. So, what we would need is that. And then, right now, I don't really know where we're building. We're just one off. Right. Okay. I don't think, though... of course there's a tree in the way. Would that? That would. Nice. Done. Done. This was totally on the blind. I was just, you know, yeah, saying more or less, you know, wet finger working, as we call it in my language, and it was totally spot on. Nice, nice. Right, well, we're gonna quickly set this up. We're just gonna tune it to the max already. There's no point in, you know, being sniffy-snaffy about, you know, this. I do believe that we can get away with, because it's quite a long time that they'll be on this ride. We're gonna go with $4, and it's also insanely popular as well, this ride, so... yeah, and it does have its own music, which is also very good. Wow, actually, I like these rock tunes that we put on one of these rides, and I don't even know which one. But I like the rock tunes a lot, you know. We're gonna use those a lot more in the future. Future? This is the last park, is it? Yeah, I said future. Right, okay, so... we need to give this a quick name then. We will do so. We will call this... we will call this... Bamboo Bouncer. Bamboo Bouncins. The Bamboo Bounces. Yeah, right. I think that's a pretty okay name. But you can instantly hear the difference, right? Or rocking. Yeah, I totally like that more, really. It really is my thing. Now, over here, we will go with it. No. Now, we will go with a... ooh, or a... ooh... yellow? Yellow? Looks very nice, to be honest. How about a... nah. 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 No, that blue, that definitely... how... ooh. That also doesn't look shabby, but I like this one. And this one, yeah, this is the one. I like this one a lot better, really. Much better than that one. This has some vibrance to it, you know. And seeing how this is also a thing that they'll be looking at, you know, the guests will probably think like this is the most odd field of grass I've ever seen. Yeah, it's good. I'm then gonna go with a blue and it was already on white. Fine then. Well, that's that ride almost set up and almost taken care of. The only thing that we need is you there, right? And well, I guess we could do with another handy dude, you know. I mean, that's as promised, you know. As per tradition, we will roll with another one over here and also there. Right, okay, looking very good so far. I think that with this addition, well, we only... oh, $5 grand. Oh man, how are we gonna get more money? That's something that we're gonna find out next time when we play more Rollercoaster Tycoon.